Have you seen any kind of common trends amongst musicians?
Yeah, I have actually. A lot of it is
Amen. Hello, everybody. You join me with the lovely Robin, who is also known as the metal therapist. Is that correct? So that's implying a couple things that should be pretty obvious, but just give us a rundown of what you do.
okay. So I'm a therapist in my day job, which I've totally found my calling. Like it's such a wonderful job to do because it means that I get to meet lots of different people. But
Yeah.
doing that kind of didn't fulfill me enough. ADHD myself, so I was kind of like I wanted more. So I decided to start posting on social media in 2020 during lockdown. Kind of took off.
Yeah.
Lots of people needed it back then.
Yep.
So I kind of just do that. I merge my love for metal music with my passion for mental health and my job.
What does that mean the content kind of looks like? How do you relate that then to metal music?
Yeah, well, I just feel like metal music is such a outlet for people, and it's a community.
Yeah.
It's a whole community vibe.
Yeah.
So I feel like it just works. And I also feel like there's a lot of people in the metal community, I feel like it's the outcasts. And I just feel like with that comes a lot of discrimination. I feel like there's a lot of neurodivergence in the community. There's just a huge crossover there for me. So I just think the reason why it's taken off so much is because it's needed.
Yes, I completely agree with you. So, in your experience, obviously you're a therapist in your own time. How often are you talking to musicians? I'm guessing you get quite a lot of comments from musicians as well. Have you seen any kind of common trends amongst musicians?
Yeah, I have actually. A lot of it is burnout
Amen.
because it's such a hard industry, isn't it? And full on. And I think
Yeah.
with anything creative, people who are creative tend to put a lot of pressure on themselves, right?
Yeah, perfectionism.
Perfectionism.
Burnout, you've absolutely nailed it, I think. Most of us, because most of us are constantly doing 1,000 different things. We have no schedule that, like a regular routine, very frequently. Half of the year is one way, half a year is potentially the other.
Yeah.
And we have to do a million different things. Like if you're in a band or an artist or whatever, you're being an accountant, you're being a marketer, you're doing, and also sometimes actually doing the music part. But so much of it isn't that. So, I mean, also, if you're learning an instrument, for example, that can actually bring up a lot of stuff. Or if you're trying to start performing in front of people, that can really trigger some things that you may not have known are there. So, as a qualified therapist, instead of me giving advice, things like performance anxiety, for example, huge thing in people. What advice would you give?
Two things there. One thing I'd say is about grounding. Ground yourself in the moment. Check yourself, because like I've even had to do it here when I'm trying to like interview people and catch people. It's really hard when you're so caught up in your brain.
Yeah.
But the thing is when you're caught up in your brain, you're not grounded in the moment. So connecting to your environment and just checking yourself like where you're at, because where you're at is probably where you wanted to be.
Yes. Yeah.
In a past version of yourself.
Yes.
So there's that. The second thing is imagine yourself as a child, because
Really?
yeah, because sometimes when we're so hard on ourselves, aren't we? Think of yourself like when you're talking to yourself, the way you talk to yourself, try to do that as though you're talking to yourself as a child, because you're going to be much more kinder to yourself.
Yes. Or if you have kids, imagine like if you're criticizing yourself, imagine you're criticizing your own child. If you can't deal with your own inner child, I'd say point it in a slightly different direction. That might help you out as well. The thing I always say about stage fright is that do you do performance yourself? Have you ever done any musical stuff? I don't know if you relate to this, but
Not entirely, but I do have social anxiety.
all I say, usually my advice with stage fright is just, you are a mirror. I've said this, I think, in a different interview as well. So anything you're putting out, if you look terrified, the audience will feel not terrified, but they'll pick up on that and they'll feel the discomfort, and they won't potentially enjoy the performance in the same way as if you laugh at your mistakes, you look like you're having a great time. Even if you have to fake it till you make it, it will be completely fine. And usually, especially if you're getting stage fright for gigs that really aren't massive. If you're not playing download, and people who are playing download probably also get a bit stage fright occasionally too. So it's a industry-wide kind of thing. The other angle that might be helpful, because obviously we're a drum channel and people are often learning the instrument, and I think there's a misconception that you have to be perfect and you have to practice every day diligently, consistently, and it's easy to be very hard on yourself. So do you have any more advice on that front, or would you say the same kind of techniques you said apply?
Probably say a similar thing, but then also, imposter syndrome is a thing. And even like people who've been doing it years and years and years still feel that sometimes. Even the likes of, like your Metallica and your Korn, people who are headlining festivals, like they all talk about this idea of imposter syndrome and feeling like you should be better, or like people who I call it shoulding yourself. Like people do that all the time.
I will do it, yeah.
And it's just to know that it's a thing and be aware of it, because if you're aware of it, then it means that you kind of separate it from yourself.
Yeah.
So kind of just knowing that imposter syndrome exists, and it's everybody experiences it, even people who are like well-established musicians.
Yeah, another thing I see is people who either have played the instrument when they were younger and then gave it up for various reasons, or they used to play it and then they had an injury or a brain something or other. Something's happened basically that's stopped them from playing. And so if you were talking to someone who had been, let's say they've already been a musician and then they've lost the capacity to do it to the same degree, what as a therapist would you say to them in that scenario? It's a bit of a niche one, I know, but it's actually more common than you think, especially as people get older and they lose the physical capability to do the things they once did, or trying to jump back into it. And I'd say absolutely jump back into it if you have been holding off for quite some time, or it's been years. Doesn't matter, and no, you're not too old, just to clarify.
Again, I would think about that childhood, because what was the reason initially that got you into that instrument? Like, go back to that, because you clearly have that sort of like pull somewhere within you, and it's kind of thinking about what was that initial thing that drew you into that instrument, that passion, whatever it is.
It doesn't matter that you're not going to play Glastonbury with it.
It does not matter. Wherever you are is where you wanted to be in a past version of you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm trying to think of any other drum-related questions, but I think if anyone has any other ones, drop them down in the comments below. Anyway, have a great day. Hope you enjoyed. If you want to see any more of the interviews we've done here at Download, just follow links here or here, and also subscribe. Help a girl out. Please. Please. I've got really bad hay fever for you.
Dust everywhere.
Yes, exactly. All right. Bye, guys.